Good morning and welcome to Salam Media. This is a special broadcast where we're joined by none other than Palestinian Ambassador to South Africa, Her Excellency Hanan Jarrar. And we're going to be having a short, quick conversation, just basically recapping the year that was 2024, looking forward to the next year, 2025, and some of the main objectives when it comes to solidarity and tackling the ongoing genocide against the people of Palestine by the Israeli forces. Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Salam Media. I really appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
No, thank you for having us in your beautiful home. I think it was a very, very eventful year, 2024. Well, maybe we can start from October the 7th, but I think maybe we can start from maybe January of 2024. From your perspective, just a recap of this year when it comes to Palestinian solidarity, seeing how the world has reacted to this genocide. Do we see a shift? Are we more, having a positive outlook on where we are going and approaching the next year?
Well, I do believe that as now we are approaching the end of the year, I think that we are ending the year on a good note, despite the fact that we suffered a lot. People in Gaza has been subjected to genocide since the 7th of October 2023 till now. The loss is huge, a lot of pain, a lot of devastation. Still, there is a hope. And we always say that Palestinians are doomed by hope. And the glimpse of hope that came recently from the International Criminal Court by issuing warrants of arrest for criminal Netanyahu and his Minister of Defense at that time, Yoav Gallant, gives us a glimpse of hope that justice will prevail at the end. It might take long, but it will prevail. Definitely, this did not come out of vague. It came with the will of the free-loving, peace-loving nations and free nations like South Africa, which, by the way, South Africa has provided a memorial to the ICC on 17th of November 2023, supporting the case of Palestine, accusing Israel that Israel might be doing a genocide against the Palestinian people. And so we start to see the seeds or the fruit of the seeds that we have been putting against the occupying power Israel in the last year, whether in front of the ICC or in front of the ICJ, or in front of the international bodies, multilateral bodies like the Human Rights Council, General Assembly, even Security Council. It was an eventful year, as you said. The pain is devastating. The number of people who has been killed is very high. Our loss is very high. We are talking here about 45,000 Palestinians who have been killed since October 2023. Yet projection says that by the end of the war, or when the time that we calculate our loss, it will be more than 186,000 Palestinians could be dead, not only because of the direct bombing, but also because of malnutrition, because of the blockage of aid, the blockade of medics, and so on. So we are talking here about a real genocide. We are talking about staggering 8% of the Palestinian population in Gaza, which is now 2.4 million people.
I want to come back just briefly on that warrant of arrest of Benjamin Netanyahu by the ICC. There's a lot of people that are saying this is just ceremonial. We know that Israel is not a member of the ICC, and a lot of countries, although we've seen some European countries saying they might enforce the arrestment, but a lot of them still not coming out right and saying they'll do something about it. What do you make of that? Do you think it's a step towards the right direction, or it is something that is definitely signaling a change? If he does go to any of the member countries of the ICC, he will get arrested. Are you confident in that regard?
First of all, we are confident in that regard because Israel was saying that it's not part of the
ICC.
ICC, or as a result, it will not be subject to the resolutions or to any decisions issued by them. And this is not correct because Palestine, which is the one who asked for this, is part of the ICC. And what is Israel is doing against the Palestinian people in the Palestinian land makes it right for the ICC to issue a warrant arrest for a war criminal. So this is out of the book, as they say, and it's something that should be done. The reaction of the Israeli government and Netanyahu in particular in this shows that they are scared, and also the reaction of the international community, which in majority, especially the European countries, showed that they have to abide by any resolution that is taken by the ICC on this regard, and they should arrest Netanyahu or his former Minister of Defense in the event that this happens. No, I find it, first of all, a step in the right direction, and I find it will pay its fruits on a later stage. And I consider it as the first step in exploring the possibility of getting rid of Netanyahu as a war criminal, and on top of an ultra-right wing government of Israel. I do believe that it's a matter of time, and we are in the right direction. Always we have to remember that change is not only one step. Change is like a frame that has a lot of small pieces, mosaic pieces. Once at a time, we put a different stone, then we will have the whole frame at the end. And hopefully we will get there.
I want to move on now. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but your term as a Palestinian ambassador to South Africa is unfortunately coming to an end. If you can just recap your time here in South Africa, working very closely to, DERCO, our government, and the various, pro-Palestine organizations. What can you make of your time here, and ties between South Africa and Palestine? What do you make of them thus far during this very difficult time?
Yeah, first of all, I would love to say that the relationship between Palestine and South Africa is deeply rooted relationship of friendship, solidarity, struggle against oppression and against aggression. South Africans didn't meet Palestinians only during the 7th of October and beyond. The relationship between Palestine and South Africa was established long time ago, when Yasser Arafat has a special relationship with Nelson Mandela and with all the revolutionary movements here in Africa and in South Africa. We have always to remember that the relationship that the African continent in the 70s, 80s, and even early 90s, it was only colonies. And it's the international solidarity and the relationship between the revolutionary movements around the world, including the Palestinian one, was the catalyst force in supporting the African nations to become independent, the countries that we are seeing now. So the relationship between Palestine and South Africa is not new, and is not only limited to the support that the concrete support that South Africa has provided for Palestinians since the 7th of October. I consider myself a lucky ambassador because I served in a time that Her Excellency Minister Bandor was on top of the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation at that time, and she has a special bond with the Palestinian people. Of course, that did not come from vague; it came from her experience, from the experience that the South Africans live during apartheid, and it reflected on the relation with us. Next year, on February 15th of February, and I hope I will still be here.
Inshallah.
Palestine and South Africa celebrates 30 years of establishing bilateral relations, and this says a lot. It says about the solidarity. It says about the strong connection. It says about the concrete, real, solid solidarity between the two people. And I look as my term here as maybe one of the most successful terms that I ever had.
You're saying it's one of the most successful terms, but there's always room for improvement. Just looking from, someone who was in the inside, deeply involved, and now you're going to be on the outside watching. What are some of the aspects that you feel still needs improvement when it comes to solidarity, whether from the various movements and from our government itself and DECO? Where can we improve and get it more right when it comes to, helping the people of Palestine and also magnifying what's happening in Palestine more broadly?
Mhm. I would say that as someone who's watched, even now from outside, like the international community, I would say that the South African people and government and political parties, they did the utmost that really they can do, taking into consideration the regional and the international or the global atmosphere. Uh, the solidarity that the South African shows echoed very well on international forums, whether going to the ICC, going to the ICJ, as I mentioned, or other multilateral platforms. It's important to appreciate what we have achieved, and always, as you mentioned, there is a room to deal with other things that I think that dealing with the solidarity movement maybe could be like shaped in a better way, because they have their own issues. Sometimes they don't want to deal with the Palestine ambassador because I belong to the PA and they are against, and so on, and all these dynamics, I would say that
It's
they
a
are
bit almost fragmented.
But I always say, and I think that we reached to like, I wouldn't say like in a very good relation with them, but to an agreement that if you want to support Palestine, you have to support Palestine as a whole. You have to support Palestine as a unit. And the embassy of the state of Palestine is the house for everyone. We have never mentioned anything against resistance movement. We ourselves do believe that resistance is a legitimate right for any people under aggression or under oppression. And we never negate this right to our people or to any other political party inside Palestine. We do believe in this. We do believe that, like, if you support the division, or if you support one on the expense of another, you support the division of Palestine. And you are not, and we are not in a state that to fuel division. All what you need is unity. So support Palestine as a whole. This is maybe something that an angle that needs to be tackled like more thoroughly, and maybe we can do it if I continue to staying here.
No, hopefully you do. 2025 is going to be another important year. What do you think or feel are some of the key objectives that South Africans who are peace-loving, pro-Palestine need to have their focus and key eye on, and that they need to support wholeheartedly? The main objectives of 2025 when it comes to Palestinian solidarity, what would you say those are?
I think that the South African government will continue their support on the ICJ in particular, on that case genocide in Gaza. I think we should proceed on this, or the South African government, and they are ready. In October, last October, on the 28th of October, they provided their memorial to the ICJ, which was very long, like 1,200 pages, and it contained a lot of evidence that what's going on is a genocide. This is one aspect. Another aspect from the grassroots organizations and the political parties and solidarity movement, more visibility. We want to be Palestine more visible in the streets, in the schools, at universities. This is what keeps
And just in closing, your message to South Africans who you have worked quite closely with during your tenure as the ambassador, say to them as we wrap up 2024.
I would say that, inshallah, next year we commemorate the International Day of Solidarity with the people of Palestine, which is due in 2 days, while we are free and victorious. We count on the solidarity of the peace-loving nations, and we do believe that the South African solidarity is the embodiment of a concrete solidarity, and this is what we need, rather than symbolic gestures or rhetoric words.
No, definitely. Your Excellency, thank you so much. I think it has been an honor for us to be working with you quite closely during your time as ambassador. Are we sure next year, when your time comes to an end, what other role would you be taking on? Will you be staying in South Africa?
I have no idea. You know, I'm a soldier. Whenever my government says that I need to move, I need to move. But till now, there is nothing. You know, the situation is difficult. The rotation is difficult, and it needs financial resources, something that we don't afford to have now. But let's hope we will continue serving Palestine in South Africa. And this is the course of diplomatic life.
No, definitely. And it has been a pleasure working with you, and we hope to work with you again quite closely. We're going to leave it there for now. Really appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
There we go.
We are here in the middle of a Zahra neighborhood. The whole neighborhood is already destroyed. More than 17 towers are down. Here, as you can see, the firefighters trying their best to help the people are still under the rubble. A lot of the people.
Join Hamza on his exclusive South African tour as he shares his personal experiences, never before seen footage, and powerful insights on the ongoing genocide in Gaza. This is more than just a talk. It's an invitation to witness Gaza through the lens of Hamza Sha'alan. Don't miss this opportunity to meet the photojournalist who brought Gaza's simplicity to the world in its darkest moments. Follow Salam Media on social media page.